Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Johnson. There are two things that God has to deal with when He deals with you and me as human beings. The first thing that He has to overcome and work with in our learning and in our understanding is our problem with pride. Human beings have a real problem with pride. We have a tendency to think that we can accomplish a lot more than we can. And we've got an ego that says, hey, I can do anything. Well, the truth is we can't do anything. But the Bible not only makes it clear that God resists the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. Those of us who have learned over a period of time, we don't have all the answers. I've learned in my efforts. I have many degrees behind my name, which has taken a long time, a lot of money. But I'm proud of my degrees in what I've done and accomplished, and some things I failed in regards to the degrees. But here's the point. I've learned in my development of education that sometimes I pass, sometimes I fail. Sometimes I do a good job, sometimes I didn't do a good job. I can show you courses where I did not do a good job and I was not a good student. And I can show you courses where I was a good student because it fit along with my talents. I learned over a period of time that in some areas I'm good, in some areas I'm not. So I can be proud of what I've done and yet not especially proud of what I've accomplished. And suddenly realizing in my experience that it's not a question of what I've done. It's a question of what God can do through me and for me if I give Him the opportunity. One of the problems we face is we don't give God the chance to work with us because we're so proud. Oh, we don't feel right because we didn't make enough money. We don't feel right because we weren't perfect. We made a silly mistake, maybe a big mistake. We don't realize that God wants to work with us and He resists the proud because being too proud makes us think we can accomplish anything. We talk about hospitals and schools, better equipment, better technology. We act like we can go to the moon and back and who knows when. I'm not sure we've quite made it to the moon yet. But the point is, we can't do all that by ourselves. I don't care how many hospitals you build, you will never cure all the diseases. I don't care how many schools you make, you will still not educate a man to where he's educated enough. The one thing a man learns when he's gotten some of a graduate degree is that he doesn't know very much about the world around him, that he's constantly learning. One of the things that I learned when I got my second graduate degree was that I didn't know much. There's a lot of things I just don't know, and I don't know what to do with them. I have to learn and apply it as I can. And the only way I properly apply it is if I show my humility. Realize that I'm not the answer to all everybody's problem, that I don't have all the answers, and as a counselor, sometimes I listen to people's problems. I realize that my problems are worse than theirs when you listen to some of them. My point being that I don't have all the answers, and I learned that over a period of time. I'd like to have all the answers. I'd like to say to you, I can solve every problem, but I can't. So what you begin to learn is in understanding your own shortcomings, that your talents are not there to make what you think they ought to be. And then you realize in humility that you just can't solve all the problems. You can't solve every trouble. And sometimes you need to realize that you have to work hard and do a lot of praying and asking God for help to be who you want to be. So if you're trying to do better, nothing wrong with that. You ought to try to do better as best you can. But your second greatest accomplishment, if not the first, is to realize that God can work with you, that God will forgive you, that Jesus will come into your heart if you ask Him, and you can live a good Christian life. And as you become a good Christian, you'll also come to understand that you just can't accomplish everything you wish you could. And that is the point of proper humility. I can't accomplish everything. In fact, I need a lot of help. I need a lot of help from God. I need a lot of help from people around me. I need a lot of support. I need a lot of counsel, a lot of guidance. Doesn't mean that I've made terrible mistakes, although sometimes I have. It doesn't mean that I'm hopeless. I'm certainly not. As long as God has given me life, I have reason for God to live in me and gives me a chance to work better and make myself who I need to be. So, if you're proud of who you are, back off a little bit. Relax. Thank God for the help He's given you, and then start working at being better. And realize that God's grace goes to the humble.